From the station working for you, this is Good Morning Indiana, streaming now.
It's 5 o'clock here on your Wednesday morning. Good morning to you. I'm Nicole Griffin.
Nicole, good morning. I'm Rafael Sanchez, and these are your headlines on this December the 2nd. This is it, deadline day to apply for rental assistance in Marion County. So working for you this morning, we're breaking down everything you need to know to get the help that you need. Plus this.
I hope people see the video. I hope they listen. I hope they start questioning what they're going to do for Christmas or New Year's.
A Central Indiana nurse's grim social media video is getting national attention, and the message she wants you to hear.
And solar farm future, the county now moving forward with plans to set guidelines for companies seeking to set up acres of solar panels. Homeowners are reacting this morning right here on Good Morning Indiana. Welcome on this Wednesday morning. It is great to have you with us, especially Nicole Griffin filling in today for our Lauren Casey. Nicole, good morning.
Raphael, good morning. I'm loving the pink this morning. We're matching really well. We forgot to tell Todd.
Well, did you guys plan that? Because I feel left out.
Well, no, Todd, you're the king of the morning. And Nicole, I just want to point out, a couple of days before Christmas, right? What is it, 23 days before Christmas? I'm a medium child size. Todd is a medium adult size. Just keep that in mind.
Got it.
As the program goes along.
Writing it down now.
You don't want to see me in the medium. Got to go large. There's no doubt about that. All right, outside right now, if you're picking out the coat, pick out a warm one to wear here this morning because it is cold no matter where you are across central Indiana. Look at these temperatures with the new update that just came in at the top of the hour. 20 in Indy as well as Lafayette with clear skies. 24 in Bloomington. The winds are fairly calm, so we're not factoring in huge wind chills as far as the drop off from the actual temperature, but it does feel like 11 right now in Indy. 13 is what it feels like in Peru, and Muncie currently feels like 17 degrees. So definitely hat, gloves required throughout the course of the morning as the kids head out to the bus stop if they are not doing the virtual learning. Otherwise, skies are clear as we work our way throughout the day today. Skies will be partly to mostly sunny. Temperatures will moderate fairly quickly today, unlike yesterday with the clouds and that northwesterly wind. Today we will get into the 40s later on this afternoon, which is seasonable for this time of year. Nicole.
All right, Todd, thank you. Let's take a live look outside this morning. Got our INDOT traffic camera, I-465 at Meridian Street there on the north side. Not a whole lot of traffic yet on the interstates this morning. We will continue to update you. No accidents or delays so far to report. It is deadline day for the rent assistance program here in the Circle City.
Nicole, the fund has been a lifeline for families hit hard by this pandemic. WRTV's Kelsey Anderson joins us live this morning with what's at stake for people right here in Indianapolis. Kelsey, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Raphael. So again, that deadline is tonight at 5 o'clock to apply for that rental assistance here in Marion County. And yesterday, Mayor Hogsett saying in a press release that this rental assistance program has helped thousands of families, but he says he knows there is more need right now than what they can help with the CARES Act funding. And he says he is continuing to implore Congress for more help. So if you can apply right now and learn more about the program at indyrent.org. If you've already applied, you can check your application status by calling 317-912-1260. And if you live in Indiana, but you're outside of Marion County, there is a different program for you. But right now there is a wait list. But you can get more information on it if you go to indianahousingnow.org. So far, over $26 million in rental assistance has been approved, serving more than 12,000 households here in Marion County. And the city anticipates distributing the full $30 million allocated for the program by the end of the year. So the newest stimulus proposal introduced yesterday, it does not contain any new money for rental and housing assistance, but it does contain funding to help state and local governments, which theoretically could be used for rental assistance and housing if that's how the local city government decides to use it. Reporting live, Kelsey Anderson, WRTV.
Kelsey, thank you. Dozens of creative arts organizations are also getting help making rent thanks to grants from the city of Indianapolis. $500,000 in relief will go to 48 Marion County-based nonprofit arts and culture groups. The money will help pay for utilities, rent, or mortgage payments. The Arts Council of Indianapolis administered the grants. The organization says the city's nonprofit arts and culture sector includes 30,000 jobs and generates $440 million in economic impact every year.
So, Nicole, local businesses are looking at the next 3 weeks of holiday shopping to keep them afloat as this pandemic continues. And this morning, here's a closer look at how their fate could impact your community. We start on the southeast side of Indianapolis on this Wednesday. The shop Urban Beauty Supply opened at Emerson Avenue and Thompson Road in late February, and just weeks later, Dapo and Shirley Milligan's dream business really turned into a nightmare situation. The owners say they have closed their shop for weeks, months, sometimes even months at a time because no one is coming in. They say the situation is not just hurting their bottom line, it's leading to fewer opportunities for others in their neighborhood.
Without the small business, then what do? I literally had a young lady today come and ask for a job. Okay. Well, if we were at a point to where we could, yes, then I could hire her, right? So a small business, it's not always the big businesses and things of that nature, right? It's the small businesses that really, that I believe are the lifeblood of our country, and then the economy as well.
Milligan says it has been challenging to get any government assistance because the store has not been open very long. Urban Beauty Supply is open Monday through Saturday from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m.
In Boone County, some small businesses are embracing the virtual world. The gym Indy Max Impact in Zionsville went strictly virtual in March by necessity, but now the option is still available to clients who may not feel comfortable working out at the facility. And the owner of aesthetic beauty studio Radiant Skin on Main Street says the new normal is increasing clientele.
So a lot of people, with this, we're wearing a mask and a lot of people are doing those Zoom calls. So a lot of people come in and say, oh, through this, I noticed that, I have wrinkles around here. So, they're like, oh, I need Botox. Or people are like, with the mask, it's drying people's face out or it's, producing acne.
Radiant Skin also offers at-home facials, and they've made many of their products available online. We have many more of these businesses and how you can help them up right now at WRTV.com.
Good morning to Greenwood, Avon, and Anderson. For the 9th time, the governor has extended the state's public emergency health order. It will now run through the end of the year. Indiana reported a spike in COVID-related deaths on Tuesday, with state health officials reporting 142 new deaths. That's the highest one-day report since last Sunday. To date, nearly 56,000 Hoosiers have died with COVID-19. State health officials also report more than 5,500 new cases of the coronavirus since March. 344,373 Hoosiers have tested positive for the virus. Our 7-day positivity rate now stands at 11%. Now, we're expecting another update from state health officials and the governor later today. You can watch that through the WRTV app or on the WRTV Facebook page. Now, meanwhile, the CDC is expected to post new guidelines for quarantining today. A senior agency official says the guidelines will change from a recommended 14-day quarantine to 10 days if you've been exposed to COVID-19. If you receive a negative test, that number drops down to 7 days. The CDC official says the agency has been considering this change for a while as scientists learn more about the incubation period of the virus.
An IU health nurse's message has been heard far beyond central Indiana. In a video diary shared with ABC News, she spoke about the heartbreaking moments that frontline workers have to face daily during this pandemic.
When the news says we've reached a new death toll, I don't understand that. But as a frontline healthcare worker, I can understand and I can describe the sound the zipper on a body bag makes. I know the feeling of my hand on a chest and the feeling of 2 minutes of CPR before the next pulse check.
Well, that video diary has spread quickly across social media. ICU nurse Brandy Colts Kingsley spoke with WRTV about the message she hopes people are not ignoring how serious the pandemic is right here in central Indiana.
We are lucky here in Indianapolis. We have a lot of amazing hospital systems, but they are all under strain. And healthcare workers are putting in tons and tons of work hours. And I get it. Emotionally, everybody's bogged down. Everybody's full of fear, anxiety, and stress. But people are dying. People are sick, and not just from COVID. Suicide attempts, overdoses, cancer, cystic fibrosis, sickle cell, lupus. These are all patients that need our help, and we can't do it because people are choosing not to help us by social distancing and wearing a mask and washing their hands. You literally have the ability to save a life, and that's on you. That's on you. You make that decision for yourself and for those around you.
IU Health does have surge plans in place, but as you heard from this Indianapolis nurse, she wants everyone to do their part so they do not become the next statistic. Raphael.
A powerful message from that healthcare worker. New details this morning on the future of solar farms in Shelbyville in Shelby County. The Shelby County Plan Commission approved new regulations that would oversee the installation of solar panels projects in that county. The previous ordinance lacked details and some say it was considered weak. Homeowners have been demanding elected leaders and county boards do more to make sure that future solar projects are limited in size, operate safely, and protect prime farmland as well as property values.
It's not a good idea to just stand back and say, you know, we tried our best and we're done trying. I think that the citizens of the Bengal area and all of Shelby County should just continue to fight for the things that we believe should be in this ordinance and not give up.
But if we give up, nothing will happen. So we will keep pushing and keep fighting.
The vote from the Plan Commission now goes to the Shelby County Commissioners. The commissioners can approve the plan, they could vote it down, or they could send it back to the Plan Commission to make changes. We expect to hear from more homeowners later this morning right here on Good Morning Indiana. If you step outside this morning, don't. I mean, if you have to, you should. But if you do, have to leave your living room like maybe I will have to at some point this year, Todd Clausen, take a coat, gloves, scarves, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, you really need to bundle up. I was just looking it up, Raphael. You have to go all the way back to March 7th of earlier this year to find a temperature as cold as it is this morning. So this is the coldest air we have seen in quite a while. The good news is we'll rebound quite nicely here throughout the morning and into the afternoon hours with some sunshine. So as Raphael mentioned, grab all the winter weather gear as the kids head off to the bus stop if they have to do so here this morning. As the kids come home, still obviously need the jacket at 42 degrees, but probably not the hat and gloves with plenty of sunshine out there. No precipitation. It's clear all across the Midwest. There's the storm from earlier in the week now slowly making its way off into New England. Overall, our temperatures for both daytime highs and overnight lows going to be fairly seasonable for the remainder of this week. The average high is 44. We'll be right around that today, tomorrow, and Friday. Then just a little bit cooler as we head into the weekend. We'll talk more about your extended forecast for you coming up when Good Morning Indiana continues right here on WRTV.
Welcome back. The time now is 5:15 in Washington. An investigation into a potential bribery scheme involving presidential pardons is now underway.
So, Nicole, newly unsealed court documents show that the Justice Department is looking into allegations that lobbyists may have tried to bribe White House officials. The documents didn't reveal a timeline or any of those potentially involved. But sources tell ABC News that Rudy Giuliani has discussed the possibility of getting a preemptive pardon for himself from the president. Giuliani told CNN that the report is, quote, completely wrong. But according to the New York Times, the president also discussed the possibility of granting preemptive pardons to his adult children and his son-in-law, Jared Kushner. It's important to note, as of now, no member of the Trump family has been accused of a federal crime. So far, the White House has declined to comment.
Also in Washington, United States Attorney General William Barr is the latest top official to say there was no evidence of widespread voter fraud. Barr, who has been a steadfast ally to President Trump, says the Justice Department found nothing that would change the outcome of the election. Meanwhile, President Trump and his attorneys are still pursuing legal challenges to election results in some key states, despite the fact that a number of them have already certified their results.
As the end of the year approaches, some financial lifelines are set to expire as many Hoosiers and Americans continue to really struggle financially during this pandemic. Relief measures like a moratorium on evictions and a federal student loan payment freeze are set now to expire just within weeks. Those close to President-elect Joe Biden say his plans for his first 100 days in office include an expansive stimulus plan. But a group of bipartisan senators who unveiled their own $908 billion proposal Tuesday say that Americans need help before January the 20th. Still, this does not seem to be any kind of deal in sight.
Let's hope our Democratic colleagues will finally let us make law in all the enormously important areas where we do not even disagree.
The Republican leader's idea of action on COVID has been to bring partisan legislation to the floor and then demand everyone accept it.
Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin and House Speaker Nancy Pelosi had their first talk since November the 3rd. That was Election Day, as you may recall, though Mnuchin says it was more about the December 11th government funding deadline than about a stimulus package for Americans.
From outer space to Congress, former astronaut Mark Kelly will be sworn in for a different kind of mission today. Kelly will now represent Arizona in the Senate as a Democrat after defeating Republican Martha McSally by more than 78,000 votes. McSally filled the vacant Senate seat that resulted from John McCain's death in 2018. Kelly is a retired Navy captain and the husband of former Congresswoman Gabby Gifford, who was shot in an assassination attempt in 2011. After the shooting, the couple founded the nonprofit Americans for Responsible Solutions, campaigning for universal background checks and red flag laws.
So, Nicole, with Christmas on the radar, Santa Claus is preparing for that worldwide trek across the entire globe. And now, of course, like always, you can keep following him on that journey. The North American Aerospace Defense Command, or NORAD, Santa Tracker website is officially up and running. Just go to noradsanta.org. There you'll find a holiday countdown, games, music, and much more. And then on Christmas Eve, Santa Cams will start streaming. Trackers can call into NORAD to check the whereabouts of Santa and his reindeer. Of course, we count on Todd Clausen to keep a track of our radar right here in central Indiana. And Todd, you do a great job. So
thank you, Rob.
I'm going to say, who needs NORAD when you have Todd Clausen? That's what I'm saying.
Oh, thank you, Raphael. My job's pretty easy here today. There's not going to be much on radar here locally. In fact, there's hardly going to be any clouds out there at times throughout the day today, as it's really a pretty quiet stretch of weather. And it's not just today. It's going to take us all the way really into the weekend as well. The headlines, cold nights. We're going to be dipping down into the 20s, most overnight periods, but seasonable days in the 40s as we work our way throughout the week. As I mentioned, no big storms heading our way and plenty of sunshine in the forecast. Skies are clear this morning. The winds have calmed, and that has allowed temperatures to really tumble across the area. We're down at 20 now in Indy, as well as Peru and Lafayette, 20 in Greencastle, Terre Haute, and Sullivan, 21 in Bedford and Richmond. And these temperatures probably are going to go down another degree or two here this morning into the teens before we slowly start to see our temperatures climb here throughout the morning hours. And then by this afternoon, it's going to be decent. Wind chill values in the teens in some locations, 13 in Terre Haute, 11 in Indianapolis, 13 in Peru, where you see those wind chills in the 20s. Those reporting stations just haven't kicked in yet to report the wind chill values, and that's why they're running a little bit warmer. But everybody feels like they're in the teens this morning. Temperatures, as I mentioned, will maybe go down a degree or two or hold steady here the next couple hours. Then once the sun gets high enough over the horizon, we'll start to see these temperatures moderate. We should be up about 34 degrees by the time we get to 11 11 a.m. Here this morning. Skies are clear, and as we expand out, all the action is well off to our east. This storm system to our west, that will not impact us here in central Indiana. Here are where your high temperatures are going today. 39 in Logansport as well as Kokomo, 43 in Frankfort, 40 today in Anderson, about 42 to 44 in Indianapolis. Martinsville today at 46 degrees, and in the Bloomington Seymour area, temperatures are going to be in the mid-40s as well. Our normal high is 44. Obviously, we are going to be at or very close to that number in almost all locations. This evening, if you have plans, temperatures will cool off quickly once again as the sun starts to set. We'll be in the 20s by 9 p.m. and then overnight tonight. It's cold once again, not quite as cold as it is this morning, but still you need to bundle up as we'll be anywhere from about 22 to 26 degrees. And then for the day tomorrow, a little more in the way of cloud cover compared to today, but still dry. Temperatures in the mid-40s. And here's a look at your 7-day planning forecast. And it keeps the highs in the 40s straight across the board. Low temperatures pretty seasonable as well. Our average low this time of year is 29, so you see we're right around that. So Nicole, not much to talk about here weather-wise going forward, which isn't always a bad thing as we get closer to the weekend.
All right, Todd, thank you. And we pretty much have the same situation out on the roads this morning. Here's a live look at I-65 at State Road at 334. This is northwest of Indy. No accidents or delays to slow you down this morning, but we will continue monitoring traffic throughout the morning. Raphael.
So $27.7 billion. That's how much Salesforce is paying for Slack. The cloud computing giant, which has a headquarters in downtown Indianapolis, hopes the acquisition of Slack will allow it to better compete with Microsoft when it comes to remote collaboration. The industry has seen a growth burst since the pandemic as more employees are, of course, working from home. Right now, the messaging app has about 130,000 paid customers and more than 12 million daily users. It hasn't made a profit since its initial public offering last year. Contrast that with the similar Teams app from Microsoft, which has more than 75 million active users.
Well, still ahead on Good Morning Indiana, coronavirus vaccines could be available as early as 2 weeks from now. Ahead at 5:30, look at the timeline from Moderna and Pfizer.
So listen up, Ben & Jerry's teaming up with Netflix once again, this time for ice cream and, hey, a joke or two. Coming up, details on this new collaboration right here on Good Morning Indiana.
Welcome back. Ben & Jerry's is giving you another reason to Netflix and chill this holiday season.
So, Nicole, have you noticed that this shift is not good on the waistline? We talk a lot about food, right?
Yeah.
I mean, every half hour there's a cookie or an ice cream or chicken or something. But in this case, the ice cream company has teamed up once again with Netflix to debut a new flavor called Punchline. And here's the punchline. It's a mixture of brown butter bourbon, almond ice creams, roasted almonds, and cherries. And all of that, of course, is all fat-free in my mind. And on the carton, there's a hotline that you can call that will connect you to famous comedians who will offer up some LOL-worthy jokes. Ben & Jerry's previously released a Netflix flavor called Netflix and Chill. So, hey, whatever rocks the boat, it's all good. Todd Clausen has your scoop on today's forecast. Todd, 1 or 2 scoops?
Oh, 2 all the time. You kidding me?
Okay.
At least in my bowl. I don't know if the forecast deserves 2 scoops here today, but it's cold this morning. You don't have to worry about your ice cream melting at all. Temperatures are in the 20s anywhere you go. And now our first teen showing up there in Greencastle at 19 degrees. 20 in Indy, 20 in Peru. The good news is we'll have light winds and plenty of sunshine today, and that's going to allow our temperatures to moderate here throughout the day today. As we'll be at about 37 degrees by the noon hour, and then high temperatures this afternoon will be in the low 40s. Just seasonable for this time of year. So overall, pretty decent day for the beginning of December. We'll talk more about the extended forecast coming up when Good Morning Indiana continues right here on WRTV.
From the station working for you, this is Good Morning Indiana, streaming now.
Now at 5:30, families struggling to pay their rent during this pandemic are facing a major deadline in just a matter of hours. Our Kelsey Anderson is live with what you need to know.
And new information this morning on when we could have a COVID-19 vaccine. The big progress being made for Pfizer and Moderna. Thanks so much for joining us here for Good Morning Indiana on this Wednesday morning. I'm Nicole Griffin in for Lauren Casey.
So hey Nicole, I love this time of year because every time I see Todd Clausen's forecast, I can see my age on the maps, especially when you add wind chill. So I love this time of year, Todd Clausen. Good morning to you.
So you're saying we have to take the actual temperature plus the wind chill and then we have your age.
No, we don't add my age, we get to my age.
All right. It's chilly this morning outside right now as temperatures are in the teens and 20s. And you definitely need to bundle up. This is the coldest morning we've seen since the beginning of March. So we've had a couple chilly mornings. Yesterday was pretty cold as well, but you'll notice the difference, I think, when you walk out the door. Look at all these 20s for actual temperatures that are out there right now. 20 in Indy, 24 in Bloomington. We throw on the wind chill values. It feels like it's 11 in Indy right now. 13 is what it feels like in Peru. So definitely need to bundle up. Try to limit your time outdoors this morning if possible until these temperatures start to moderate. And that's the good thing. They will moderate today fairly quickly once the sun comes up. You see the skies are clear all across the area. Just got to be a little bit patient. Let the sunshine work its magic. The wind is not as strong as it was yesterday, so that is the good news. Should get into the low 40s here between the noon and 5 p.m. hour. And then temperatures once the sun sets, though, will cool off very quickly as well. We'll break it down for you hour by hour coming up in just a couple minutes, Nicole.
All right, Todd, thank you. Let's take a live look outside this morning as we continue to monitor traffic. This is I-74 near Post Road, where you can see not a whole lot happening on our traffic camera right now. We will continue to update you on any delays and crashes throughout the morning. Raphael.
Nicole, this morning police are still working to figure out what caused the crash on the north side of Indianapolis that killed a child. This happened around 8:45 last night on Keystone Avenue near 52nd Street. Police say the car swerved for an unknown reason, crashed into a tree, and rolled over into the Aldi Food Market parking lot. A child at the scene died. That child's age and other information has yet to be released. 3 others were taken to the hospital. Metro Police also investigating another deadly crash, this on the city's near north side. 1 person was killed in this incident at the intersection of East 16th and Roosevelt Avenue. This happened around 10:30 last night. Police have not released any more information at this time.
Well, it is 5:34 and it is deadline day for the rent assistance program here in the Circle City.
A big deadline indeed. That fund has been a lifeline for families hit hard by the ongoing pandemic. WRTV's Kelsey Anderson joins us live this morning with everything that's now on the table. Kelsey, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Raphael. So that deadline to apply for that rental assistance here in Marion County is tonight at 5 p.m. And Mayor Hogsett saying in a press release that they have helped thousands of people. They've made a difference for thousands of Hoosiers with this rental assistance program. But he says there's just more need than they have money right now with the CARES Act funding. And he says he is imploring Congress to give more funding so they can help more Hoosiers stay in their homes. So you can apply and learn more about the program at indyrent.org. And if you have already applied, you can check your application status by calling 317-912-1260. Now, if you live in Indiana, but you're outside of Marion County, there is a different program for you. Right now, there is a wait list, but for more information, you can go to indianahousingnow.org. So far, over $26 million in rental assistance has been approved, serving more than 12,000 households here in Marion County, and the city anticipates distributing the full $30 million allocated for the program by the end of the year. Now, the newest stimulus proposal introduced yesterday, it does not contain any new money for rental housing assistance, but it does, however, contain funding to help local and state government, which they could use for rental assistance and housing funding. But again, that's just going to be up to that local government if that stimulus package gets approved. Reporting live, Kelsey Anderson, WRTV.
Kelsey, thank you. Now to the latest on COVID-19. Because of the skyrocketing spread of the virus, Indiana's public health emergency will continue through the end of the year. This is the 9th time it has been expanded and will likely be renewed again. This afternoon, we will get more updates from the state health officials in their weekly briefing. And that includes new information on the colored county risk map, WRTV will be streaming that update live at 2:30. You can watch through the WRTV app or on our Facebook page. Here's a look at the latest numbers. Indiana saw a large spike in deaths in connection with the virus. The State Department of Health reporting 142 new deaths. That brings Indiana's death toll to nearly 56,000. 5,518 new cases were also confirmed. More than 344,000 cases have been reported since the pandemic began.
Good morning to Lebanon, Tipton, and Franklin. On this Wednesday, we have new information on Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine. The company says it could be delivered as early as December the 15th. That's less than 2 weeks away from today. That's according to documents from Operation Warp Speed, which were given to governors. The paperwork also estimated that the first shipments of Moderna's vaccine will be delivered on December the 22nd. But before any of that can happen, the FDA must authorize them for emergency use. Officials estimate that 22 million doses of Pfizer's vaccine and 18 million doses of Moderna's vaccine will be produced this month. The CDC is recommending that healthcare workers and nursing home residents should be the first to receive any FDA-approved COVID vaccine. ABC's Faith Abube has the latest.
This morning, nearly 100,000 Americans waking up in hospital beds battling COVID-19, a new record amid a nationwide surge in cases.
The virus is running rampant through almost every part of our county.
43 states, Washington, D.C., and Puerto Rico all seeing their hospitalizations rise. In Los Angeles, fears of a crisis as the governor warns ICUs could reach 112% capacity by Christmas Eve.
If these trends continue, we're going to have to take much more dramatic, arguably drastic action.
One state over, the virus wreaking havoc in Nevada, killing one person every 2 hours. Dr. Jacob Kieperman in Reno saying he saw 5 people die within a 32-hour period.
We, at some point, might get to a breaking point.
In Maryland, Governor Larry Hogan emotional while talking about one of the state's latest victims.
We have lost our youngest victim, a 1-year-old boy, to this deadly virus.
But hope on the horizon. Overnight, the British government authorizing the world's first COVID-19 vaccine by Pfizer and BioNTech. The companies could also be authorized here in the U.S. as soon as next week. The CDC urging states to give the first available doses to nursing homes and healthcare workers, many sacrificing their health to care for others.
It doesn't get easier.
Nashville saying goodbye to Gary Woodward, an ICU nurse of 25 years.
He was our rock, and that rock is gone.
And later on today, the CDC is expected to announce new quarantine recommendations. Instead of 14 days, it'll be 7 days of quarantine after a negative test following exposure, but 10 days without a test. Faith Abube, ABC News, Washington.
Faith, thank you. As businesses continue to adjust during the pandemic, new shops in Hendricks County hope they can help you with your holiday shopping this year. Timber City Coffee Roasters in Plainfield is just about a year old. The owner shares the space with the Joy's Cakery. Together, the two have managed to make ends meet during the pandemic by making online ordering and delivery available to customers. That's how Tracy Ammons is staying in business too. She opened her store Bottles and Binkies in Brownsburg in June. She signed contracts and leasing agreements before the pandemic. Luckily, her online presence was well known before she opened the brick and mortar location. However, she still hopes people look to her and other local businesses for gift giving this year.
If you can, shop in your community, keep your dollars local, keep your local businesses in business, because when this is all over, we want to still see them. We want to still go to our favorite restaurant. We want to still shop at our favorite store. And right now they really need us, myself included.
Well, you can learn much more about these businesses and how you can support them on our website, WRTV.com.
So shop local when you can. Local businesses, as you know, are a huge part of our tax base. So losing them can impact all of us. WRTV's Kara Kenny spoke to a local expert about what the future holds for many of them.
Michael, can you tell us why should consumers care about the financial success of their local businesses.
Local businesses, in particular small businesses, are key employers throughout central Indiana. They comprise 60 or 70% of all the jobs, all the non-governmental jobs in the region. The success of local businesses is a key ingredient of the economic health of the region.
So it sounds like if local businesses lose, then we all lose in some way.
Particularly smaller businesses that rely on face-to-face services like restaurants or bars or smaller retails have faced really steep headwinds. And so that, I think, is the overall drag that we're experiencing in the economy right now.
So what does the future hold when it comes to our local economy?
It's going to be 2, 3, 4, maybe even 5 years before the full permanent job losses that we've already experienced from COVID work their way out of the economy. So it's going to be a long slog back to the normal of 2019.
All right, thank you there, Kara. The time now is 5:42, and the temperature sits at 20 degrees here in Indianapolis, as well as Lafayette and Peru. A little bit warmer, if you want to call it that, in Bloomington at 24. But with the temperature at 20 now, we have to go even a little further back to find a morning this cold. I just mentioned a few minutes ago, it hadn't been as cold as since March the 7th when we were at 21. But with the new update that came in at the top of the hour, we're at 20. The next stepping stone in the backwards direction temperature-wise is 17. That happened on February 29 earlier this year. I don't know if we'll get down to 17, but again, this is the coldest start we've had in almost 9-10 months now. Throughout the day, the good news is we'll warm pretty quickly with sunshine. By this afternoon, temperatures are up or generally right around 40 degrees. We'll talk more about your extended forecast for you coming up in just a little bit.
All right, Todd, thank you. With the future development for Indiana Avenue up for debate, Madam C.J. Walker's family is weighing in what her great-great-granddaughter has to say about the next steps for this historic street.
And Nicole, doctors are really worried that children are not receiving their regular vaccines because of the pandemic. The diseases they expect to see rise as a result. You're watching WRTV. Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. With the future development of Indiana Avenue up in the air, the great-granddaughter of Madam C.J. Walker, the great icon here in Indianapolis, that granddaughter is now weighing in. The street is home to the Madam Walker Legacy Center and was once the site of a thriving black business community. WRTV has been following plans to redevelop that area. At a virtual meeting for the Economic Club of Indiana Tuesday afternoon, Alila Bundle said she would like to see development that is walkable, community-oriented, and that creates opportunities.
With IUPUI and with all of the talent and all of the resources that are there in the business school and the informatics school and architecture and design, there is a way, I think, to create some partnership with all of the stakeholders participating. So I'd love a neighborhood that maybe feels like Broad Ripple or feels like Fountain Square, but that also is creating economic opportunity.
We told you just last week that plans for a large apartment complex on Indiana Avenue have been dropped. That as grassroots organizers have been advocating for development in the area to reflect its rich black history as well as its culture.
Doctors are concerned about a rise in measles and whooping cough cases because of the rise in unvaccinated kids during the pandemic. Both the measles and whooping cough are winter diseases, and although the measles had previously been eliminated in the U.S., cases have been rising in recent years because of a lack of vaccinations. Experts say childhood vaccination rates have been fluctuating along with COVID cases, and some parents are afraid to bring their kids in because of the pandemic.
I think they're just scared of gathering in groups, and it makes sense. But pediatricians, I think, are doing their darndest to try and make sure that people are in as safe a position as possible, because it's important to be vaccinated. I mean, it's not just pandemic COVID-19 that can kill you.
Dr. Offit says wearing masks and social distancing have helped keep the spread of some of these diseases other than COVID under control too, but he is concerned that once people are able to get a COVID vaccine, they will immediately stop practicing those safety measures.
So Nicole, the moon getting a visitor this morning from a Chinese spacecraft. The China National Space Administration collecting lunar rocks that will be sent back to Earth. Liftoff, as you can see there, it's something that hasn't been done since 1976, and that was done by Russia. The United States' last moon mission was back in 1972. NASA's mission chief congratulated China on their success this morning. He says the moon rock samples they got could benefit everyone and advance the international science community. On this Wednesday, Todd Clausen, can't believe it's already midweek, and I would dare you, if you have to step outside like you and Nicole, ooh, it's going to be cold out there.
It is, Raphael. My remote on my car didn't start this morning, so I walked out and I had to sit in the cold car and let it heat up for a little while before I got going. And I think many of you are going to do the same. If your car was not in the garage, likely there's a good layer of frost on it, so keep that in mind as well before you get going. Make sure you defrost all of that frost off the windshield. Don't just look through the little peephole. Definitely not safe. 20 degrees in Indy right now. Feels like 11 currently when you factor in the wind. Thankfully, the wind has calmed down a little bit. It's not as strong as it was yesterday, and the wind has changed direction. That may not seem like a big deal, but yesterday we had those northwesterly winds, and that prevented our temperatures from warming really at all throughout the course of the day yesterday. With a southerly wind and the return of some sunshine today, that's going to allow these temperatures, which are colder than yesterday morning, to warm up into the 40s for the most part later on this afternoon. 19, though, in Greencastle, right at 20 in Indy, as well as Peru. 21 is the current temperature in Tipton, over into the Richmond area. 21 in Bedford as well. You factor in the wind, it feels like 11 in Indy, 13 in Peru, starting at 6. A lot of these other stations are going to start to report the wind chill values, and these wind chills are going to stay in the teens through about mid-morning, and then once the sun's high enough above the horizon, we'll start to see these temperatures moderate up into the 30s for wind chill values compared to where they were yesterday in the 20s. So it's definitely a better day today, despite the fact that the temperatures are a little bit colder this morning than what we've seen. In fact, you haven't seen temperatures this cold since the beginning of March across the area. Lots of sunshine today, temperatures into the 40s, as you saw there with the clear skies. Storm system from the other day is now well off to the east. This evening, sunset 5:21, clear skies. Temperatures will fall back below freezing by about 7 p.m. And then as you wake up tomorrow morning, it's still very, very cold, but we're talking about temperatures a little bit warmer than this morning. 25 in the city, 22 in Peru. And then throughout the day tomorrow, I do think there's more clouds around for your Thursday, but even with the cloud cover, temperatures will still climb up into the 40s during the afternoon hours. And it's a very quiet 7-day planning forecast for us. There's no major storms heading our way. Saturday morning, there could be a sprinkle and or a flurry, but nothing major, with overnight lows that'll be hovering generally around freezing, and then afternoon highs straight across the board, as you see there, Nicole, in the 40s.
All right, Todd, thank you. Here's a live look outside this morning as you head out the door. I-465 at Harding Street on the south side, where you can see traffic is moving up to speed. No accidents or delays on the interstates.
So, Nicole, we have some encouraging news for Colts punter Rigoberto Sanchez, who underwent surgery for a cancerous tumor. Sanchez tweeted late Wednesday that his surgery was successful, which is great news, and that he's overwhelmed by the love and the support that he's received. The 26-year-old was diagnosed with the tumor late last week and revealed the illness on social media on Monday. Sanchez did not provide details about the diagnosis, only saying that doctors found it before it spread to the rest of his body. The Colts say he will miss some time, and it's not clear how long he will be out. We wish him all the very best.
Yeah, of course. Well, coming up here on Good Morning Indiana, the Pacers are getting a makeover for next year. The meeting behind the new pinstripe look coming up after the break.
Back to Good Morning Indiana. So next season, Nicole, the Pacers, they're going to rock a new look.
Yeah, the team unveiled its new jerseys, and look what I have here. They unveiled them on social media. They sent us one.
Okay.
It has the number 6 on it for Channel 6, and on the back,
okay,
WRTV. I love it.
Is that a medium?
Nope, it's a large. So that means Todd can have
Clausen.
it.
Todd Clausen. Yeah, Todd.
Well, this is the first time since 2013 the team is bringing back the pinstripes. They are also a tribute to the franchise's lone trip to the NBA Finals in 2000. The Nike City Edition uniforms also drew inspiration from Indiana's flag with the brighter royal blue. There's also a basketball-inspired torch emblem, and the saying, "We grow basketball here," on the shorts. Pretty sharp there,
Yeah.
Todd. I like it.
I like it as well. And Unfortunately, Raphael, you're just gonna, not gonna fit in that. So just kind of passed along to me.
No.
So.
Yep. It would be a dress on me, Todd. So you can have it.
You wouldn't even need to wear the shorts. It'd be so long on you.
Right. Exactly.
Now we got to see it.
All right. Outside right now, we're dealing with temperatures in the 20s. It's a really, really cold start for us across the area. 20 in Lafayette as well as Indy, 21 in Logansport. Radar is nice and quiet. That is the good news. And going forward throughout the day today, despite the cold start, we get up to 43 degrees, which is actually a pretty seasonal high temperature for us this time of year with plenty of sunshine. We'll talk more about your extended outlook and have your latest news headlines coming up at the top of the hour right here on Good Morning Indiana.